Welcome back. Why am I excited in this video? Is it because of the Nintendo? No. I'm about to start wiring on this beast. And probably gonna do that after I paint. Because reasons. And I wanted to do all the ancillary systems, all the extra little doodads and stuff that aren't covered in my AAW Classic Auto Update kit. So fan, fuel pump, all those kinds of things. I want to wrap those up, so I'm just connecting right into them. And I'm trying to figure out how am I going to wire my fans. And, typically in the past, I use stuff like this, just regular relay harness, or relays with a mount. I don't know what that would be called. Put them on a little bracket, mount them up under there. Comes out looking decent. I like using factory parts though. Sometimes I go to the junkyard and just raid stuff like this box of goodies. All kinds of little connectors and whatnots in there. I'm trying to find me an OEM solution to mount, 2 or 3 relays and some fuses. And I think I'm going to go with a 2 relay setup for my fans, high and a low speed, and use both of those powers, both of the hot side going to the fan. And I was trying to find some kind of weatherproof module thing that I could adapt in there, and look what I found. Cruising around the yard looking for some seats for a buddy's project. And I found this little guy. 2 relays. Well, you can wire up to, there's those little thin relays can go here. You can put relays in all 4 of those. It's already got the terminals down here. This little cover comes off to protect it. Bam. Got the little deals in there already so I can run some fuses here and here if I want, or I can run the relays or whatever. But the main thing is I got some high amperage relays, fuses with the ability to expand later on if I need to, or whatever stuff I put in there. And then make some little squares. That's the focus. I can just kind of pop that into the fender well, wherever I put this bad boy. So in my head, that's a pretty good deal. I got a thing that can incorporate factory sealed. Oh, looks cleaner. Everything will look like it's supposed to be in there. So I'm happy. So I'm going to take this bad boy and wire it for my fans and start mounting it. Getting it ready to plug the inputs in from the terminator. Whenever Holley decides to make these terminators and actually ship them out again. It's been months, just saying, waiting patiently. But I'm going to start wiring this up, show you what I'm doing. All right, got some connections made. Drew a crude little diagram of how I'm wiring this. This is for fan 1, which is going to be controlled by either the Holley fan 1 input or off my trinary switch. Either one of those comes in, it'll ground this leg and relays. This side's grounded, this side the key is on, so it gets power, and it sends the power right through to the fan. So that's fan 1. Fan 2 is going to be just without the trinary switch as fan 2 setting, and I can set either of those in the Holley and use an output. That's my plan for that. So how do I know what's in here? I took a relay out, and you can see it's labeled. So I just have that one upside down while I'm working on this, and you can kind of see the thicker gauge wires. I got my coil. My coil will be left and right, and my input and output top and bottom. So I pre-spliced some of these that I know are going to go together based on the diagram in my head, and ran my connectors, heat shrunk the one side of it, and labeled it for when I'm an idiot later and don't know what I'm doing. So I got 12 volts, 12 volt switch, and the triggers for both the fans. And then the fan outputs I put onto this little guy, which I also found in the wrecking yard, which is a nice little disconnect. So if I need to pull the fan assembly out, I have a connector I can pop that off, and it'll all be right there in a nice little area. So now I can put this back together, kind of, for mock-up. Once I'm sure I'm got everything where I want it, I'm going to go back and loom everything. Knowing me, it'll change 16 times. And I can't do this with one hand. But I'm going to put this cover back on, and I'm going to go over to the car and start seeing where I got to make these holes. Okay, I lied. Got the cover back on, but I forgot to cover that right here on both of these. I'm going to have a 30 amp fuse. You can see I got one in there already. Just in case something happens to that fan and bad things, it'll pop that fuse and it won't melt this whole thing down. And my feed line is going to be fused back by the battery. So let's go mount this little guy, see where we're going to put it. Get you a little wider here. This is the area I'm looking at. I want to kind of hide my factory wiring, or my wiring for these fans down below. There's some little runs where you can put wiring, channels or whatnot. So I'm going to have that pop out probably over here, and the steering stuff out of the way. It's like a good place for this to ride. It's going to be right down, hidden down here. And all the wiring can be underneath it and suck back in under over here. Get out of the way of the tire possibly coming into contact with something, because I'm going to drive this like an idiot and use big tires, so I don't want anything bolted up where the tire's going to rub in this area. Thinking that might be a good spot. Still got quite a bit of protection in there from water, and this is all going to get ducted and closed off here so I get to that stage. So what if a guy can't just pull out this inner fender? Nah, that'd be too easy. Maybe over here. Check my clearances and see where I'm going to put this thing. You got to think 3 steps ahead. My air intake's going to come over here, and I plan to make a little box out of this area in here, so I get all the cold air trapped in here away from the engine. So just on the outside of that, right up in this little trough right here, would be a perfect spot for this. Look like a little factory spot for it. So I'm going to mark that, and we're going to get a hole drilled in there. Well, I got my squares drilled. It's kind of hard to drill a square. Anywho, little guy sticks in there. Yeah. And, you know, it's just there. Tuck the wiring in some loom, and it'll just get right on behind there, and you won't even see it. And it kind of blends in. Factory OEM, weatherproof, all the things. It's meant to go under there. I like running those instead of stereo stuff, because, you know, it's not sealed under here. It's just stereo stuff. It's not meant for that. So I think that came off a 2005 Ford F-150. It's the relay, auxiliary relay box. Had 4-wheel drive relays and a AC diode or something in there. So check it out. Check your junkyard. Look for alternative things. That's what hot rodding's all about. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.